Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the What's Next on Basketball podcast. I am your host, Jeremy, as always, and yeah, it's time for the second episode of this podcast. For those that listened to episode 1, I really appreciate you guys for listening. It wasn't like a lot, but for those that did listen, I really appreciate it. I'm really trying to grow this and actually take it like really seriously. And it means a lot to the ones that told me, they're gonna try to watch it here and there, try to share with other people, spread the word around, and it really means a lot. So thanks for that. In today's episode, actually, just a recap for those. Obviously, if you're watching episode 2, if you don't remember, last episode I just did a review on the NBA playoffs, and I rated them all from out of 10 and how I felt about each one. And yeah, that was really it. And then I also did, my little introduction of what the podcast was about, all that stuff. So definitely go check that out if you're interested. But in today's episode, I was going to think of a name for this series, but I was like, I don't really feel like doing a name. So basically, what this little episode's going to be about, it might also lead on to the next episode. It depends on how long I talk for and how long this takes. But I basically wrote down a bunch of points, questions, like concerns, or just a bunch of things for each team heading into the off season. And yeah, I'm just going to talk about the teams and so I have at least 2 or 3 points for each team here. So you'll definitely have something for your team if you're listening. How I did is, we're going to start from we're going to start with the Eastern Conference first, and then we'll move on to the West. And I start from the team that did the worst to the team that did the best. So yeah, let's just get into it. So, without further ado, what's next? So, we'll start off with the Detroit Pistons. So, the points I have here, we'll start with the first one, just being new coach. As we all know, Monty Williams signed as the new coach for the Detroit Pistons after he was fired from the Phoenix Suns after, the bad playoff run they had this year. And to give my opinion on it, I honestly think that was a really dumb decision by the Phoenix Suns. Because, yeah, I understand, they're trying to do something to help the team, get better and try to shake things up to hopefully help the team figure out some way to get past, the second round. I think they've been in the finals before. Have they been in the finals? Well, yeah, of course. They were in it what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, when they faced the Bucks in the 2021 season. So yeah, 2 years ago. And it's weird to me how Monty Williams, who was, I believe, coach of the year, it was either last year or the year prior, he was coach of the year, and now they're firing him. And I didn't even think it was, Monty Williams' fault at all with the situation that happened. I think he's a great coach, and this is going to be a huge loss for them. I don't know if the Phoenix Suns found a coach yet. Maybe they did, but I didn't hear anything about it, at least. I know there was people they were interested in, but as far as I know, they haven't signed a coach yet. But yeah, back to the Pistons. This is as I said, a great signing for the Detroit Pistons, because you got, as I said already a few times, an incredible coach who can definitely help lead this team. Let me actually check here. Unfortunately, I don't have the team memorized, so I don't remember who's on this team. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, guys, I have everything ready, but it's not going to be super 100%. Where the heck am I? Oh, wow, I was just checking the phone, but like I was saying, he got players especially Cade Cunningham. I feel like this will really help Cade in moving on to the next step, because now you get a coach that's been to the playoffs, that's been to the NBA Finals, so he knows what it takes to get there. So I think this is really gonna, be huge for them, and just helping the team out overall, just become better. Apologies, I'm trying to look for it. It's taking forever here. I know they got Cade. They got, I believe, Jaden Ivey. He was a really a good rookie that I wish the Knicks got. Let's see. They got Marvin Bagley, who hopefully Monty Williams can help him, because, man, he was not doing good on the Kings. Who else they got? Jalen Duren. They got Isaiah Stewart, James Wiseman, Alec Burks, Boyan Boyagovich. I think that's how you say his name, Boyagovich. I think that's how you say it. Apologies if I messed it up. But, it's still like a really young, not so great team, as we know, because they had the worst record in the East this season. But I think Monty Williams could definitely help. We've seen already in the finals, aka Eric Bledsoe, who, even if you don't have the top superstar talent on your team, they can help you win. Like, as long as you got a good coach that knows what they are doing, you have a chance of doing good in the season. And I think this is a really huge step for the Pistons. Hopefully it helps them. What pick do they have? I believe they had the 5th pick in the 2023 draft, and they should have had a higher pick, because I don't understand how they didn't. But it's the draft, so anything can happen, and unfortunately the draft didn't go their way. I'm sure a lot of Pistons fans were, very disappointed, I guess is the nicest way of saying it, for not getting a top 3 or even a top 2 pick. They should have had the top 1 pick. They had a really good chance of getting it, but they didn't. So it's really disappointing on them. The Rockets too, man. It should have been Spurs, Rockets, Pistons, whatever order in the top 3. They should have been top 3. I don't know how they weren't, and it's just crazy to me. But yeah, we'll move on from that. Let's see, what else do I got here? Oh, actually, leading up to the draft. So yeah, like I said, they have the 5th pick in the NBA draft, and I don't, it's really just comes down to who do they want. I'm not as big on college basketball as other people are, so I don't know much about all these young talents and what to expect from them. Let's see, best available. Here we go. So let's see, the 5th best guy they have on here is one of the Thompson twins. I think it's Asar. Is that how you say his name? Apologies if that's not how you say it. But it's one of the Thompson twins, so they're both top 5 projected right now, according to ESPN's draft board here. So it's the Thompson twins aren't bad. They're not bad picks. Obviously, this is probably gonna be the first time in a while where we have twins actually being good. I don't know when's the last time we had good twins. If you really want to say, maybe the Martin twins, but only one of them was really good. AKA, I already forget his name, but the one in the Heat. He was doing really, really good. Caleb Martin. I believe it's Caleb Martin. As for when, as for if they'll be good, I'm sure they'll be good. I've seen highlights of them. They seem like good players. So yeah, maybe you can get one of them, or maybe you could see if any of the if the obviously you're not gonna get anything from the Spurs, but maybe the Trailblazers or the Hornets would be in consideration of giving you a pick. I doubt it though, because the Hornets I know are definitely not gonna give that pick away either, unless it's a really, really good deal. And the Trailblazers is, we already know what's going on with that, but I'll talk more about the Trailblazers and that pick later on. So yeah, they got them. They got some guys here. Like I said, I don't know much about them. I'm just reading here, so it looks like they at least have a couple guys that will be good for their team. So hopefully they find something good. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, next is exactly what do the Pistons want to do? Heading into the next season, having a new coach, they'll probably be able to sign some new guys to the team and get some good good players in the NBA draft. So what do they want to do? Do they just want to continue the rebuild and just, keep losing games, go into the next season's draft? Or should they try to push for, that 10th, 9th seed to at least make the play-in and just see what this team has? It's already been, 2 or 3 years now? I think it's 3 years. This is going to be his 3rd year heading into the season for Cade Cunningham. And so far, we haven't seen much from him. It's been kind of disappointing from him, because he did look like he was going to be really, really good. There's a lot of hype around him. Not as much as other players in the past. But people did say there's a chance for him to be a really good superstar in the league. And I don't think they've at least had that opportunity even in the play-in to show it. They might have had one game in the play-in. I would have to look back on it for the play-in. But as far as I know, I don't think, at least I know for sure they haven't made the playoffs. There's no way they've made the playoffs. So I don't know. It's just like, should they try to at least see what this team has? They don't have to make the playoffs, but I'm just saying, maybe see what they got in the play-in. See what this team's all about. Or if not, I guess just continue the rebuild. So that's just my question for them is playoff push or rebuild. Obviously, for most of you listening, you probably go in the lines of continue the rebuild, which is a smart move. But me, I'm just trying to spice things up, trying to see like, hey, try things out, see what they can do. You already got Cade here, you got Isaiah Stewart, you got Jaden Ivey, you got whoever will be most likely one of the Thompson twins that will be here, whether it's the point. Actually, they're both. One's a point guard, one's a shooting guard. I would expect them to get the shooting guard if he's still available. Yeah, that's honestly my concern with it. At least with how they played this season, I don't know if they'll make the play-in, but then again, we've seen time and time again, a team that was like nowhere near contention ended up becoming one of the top best teams in the NBA. I don't think they'll be a top best team, but at least make the 10th seed. So we'll see how that goes, because, there's still the free agency, so we'll see if they make any good moves, maybe some good trades. Who knows? I know Pistons fans a lot of them are very loyal. Shout out to Crispy Flakes. I love watching his videos. He's one of the guys I love seeing as a Pistons fan. But yeah, that's really all I got for them. So moving on, we have the Charlotte Hornets. Now, first thing I'll talk about is the big thing here, which is that Michael Jordan sold the team. For those of you that did not see it, let me actually pop it up right now on my screen. Obviously, you guys won't see it, but just for me to read. Michael Jordan sold the Hornets for $3 billion. That's right, $3 billion. To a group led by Gabe Plotkin and Rick. I don't even know what his last name is. I apologize. I don't know. I'm not good at saying names, but Gabe and Rick, these guys for approximately $3 billion after a 13-year run being, the majority owner of the Hornets. He decided to call it quits. And it's not to anyone's surprise. Obviously, as we all know, Michael Jordan is one of, if not the greatest basketball player that has ever stepped foot in the game. But when it came to being an owner, not so much. We all know the history of the Bobcats and how he's been doing with the Hornets here. So it just hasn't been great. I think they've had like maybe at most 5 times where they made the playoffs. Other than that, it's just like, it just has not been good. Like, Jordan really didn't do any trades or anything that I would consider very good. Like, the best thing they've probably done is get in LaMelo Ball. But who knows? LaMelo Ball might leave the team now, because I know when it came to people asking how he felt about being on the Hornets, he said who wouldn't want to play on a team that has Michael Jordan on it? And now Michael Jordan's gone, so I guess maybe he's going to start looking around. And actually going to that, I was going to wait to talk about it when I was talking about the Pelicans, but I might as well talk about it now, is trade ideas. So, you know what? No, I'll wait. I'll wait on that. Just be ready for that. I'm going to talk about some trade ideas when it comes to LaMelo Ball heading maybe to the Pelicans. So you guys can already expect which player I'm going to talk about for the Pelicans, but let's wait on that. So, yeah. Jordan sold the team, and that's really it. So the era of Jordan's over. I don't know what they're really planning on doing. Are we just going to try to blow up the team completely, lead up to that, LaMelo Ball, or nah? Is one of the points I put down here. Are we going to keep LaMelo Ball? Do we still think LaMelo Ball is good for this team, fit for this team? Do we see him as a guy in the future? Or will the new owners just be like, nah, he just seems like a guy we could trade for like a lot of picks and then just start all over again, which would be frustrating as, a Charlotte fan. I'm sure they're just sweating right now, hoping that they don't mess up the team again. Also probably excited because, Jordan's gone. And, it's going to be nice to see. I can't wait to see the future for them. And that leads on to the next point I have here, which is Miller or Scoot. As I mentioned earlier, while I was talking about the Pistons, the Hornets have the 2nd pick in the NBA draft. So they have a chance, obviously they're not going to get Victor Wembanyama. I highly doubt that the Spurs are going to go past Victor, especially with the reaction that one, I don't know what he is he an executive? You guys know when the draft lottery happened, he got super excited about winning it. So that tells me they're getting Wembanyama. I would honestly say they're stupid if they don't get it. Obviously, we don't know what the future holds for Victor, but it would be really dumb if you don't get him. So that means the Hornets have to go for either Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson. Both players, not to make them below or think they're not better either. They are great players as well. Both I would consider from seeing their highlights, seeing people talk about them. I think they are potentially, star-studded franchise players, especially Brandon Miller. I've been seeing a lot on Brandon Miller, and he looks really good. And that is what people are saying they're going to try to get. Or are you going to try to get Scoot and see if the Ball and Scoot, little dynamic duo could work? Or maybe you could be like, oh, maybe one of them could be a shooting guard, the other one's a point guard. I don't know how that would really work. That's probably why a lot of people are saying they might as well get Miller just, to avoid the headaches. Or they could get Scoot, try to trade LaMelo Ball for maybe some picks and stuff, because I'm sure he has a very, very high trade value. So if they feel like, we want to go with Scoot instead of Ball, which I don't know why they would, but that's an idea. I'm more on the lines of maybe get both of them, see if they can work together. Or if you really just want to be like, nah, we're not even going to go through that headache, you get Brandon Miller. I feel like either or is going to be a good decision. And it's more of just what they think they need more. Let's see. Just another point, like I said, about LaMelo Ball. Are we going to build around him or no? But I already talked about that one. And my last point for the Hornets is, are we going to see a spending spree by the Hornets? Now that we have a new owner for the team, I'm sure the owner is going to want to make big changes so their fans know, hey, we really mean business. So are the Hornets going to stay as a rebuilding team, a draft lottery team, or are we going to see them do some incredible signings in this free agency? They are definitely a team to look at when it comes to that. I'm sure it's going to be very fun for the organization because they're going to want to make a good impression. So I would not be surprised if we see one or two top guys that no one expected to be on the Hornets, especially since I'm sure they want to make LaMelo Ball happy. If they want to keep him, what did I say? I meant to say LaMelo Ball. You guys know what it is. I keep stuttering on here, but it's fine. I'll figure it out sooner or later. Just stop stuttering on this podcast. But until then, you have to deal with it. So, that's my last point. Next up, we have the Orlando Magic. So, the Orlando Magic was a team that really surprised me this season. I had them having the worst record again in the, the East. Last year, I got it right with them having the worst record, and I thought it was going to be like that again, but I was mistaken because I did not realize how good Pablo was. Or is it Paulo or Pablo? I heard some people say Paulo Banchero. I guess it's Paulo Banchero, but you guys know what I'm saying, Banchero. He is incredible. There's never been a time where I've seen a rookie. I mean, there's a couple times. Let me not lie. There's been a couple times I've seen some rookies where I'm like, they're going to be a star. But this guy, if he doesn't become a star, the Magic failed as an organization. Because right now, I have it up. His rookie year. All right, remember, guys, this is his rookie year. He played 72 games, averaged 34 minutes, where he scored 20. He averaged 20 points. His rookie year, 20 points. He had 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a field goal percentage of 43. Let's see, 3-point percentage of 30, but I guess he's not really much of a shooter. I'm still trying to get known with stats as well. I don't know if that's considered really good, 30%. It's probably average. But yeah, it's just wow. He has been doing really, really good. I honestly like him. I might try to watch more Magic games just because of him. I saw a couple games this season, so I know he's at least really good. And he's just someone I feel like this is the guy you need to build around. Heading into the next couple years, find guys that will work well with Banchero. Of course, he's not the only guy on the team. Jeez, I have hiccups. He's not the only guy on the team, as we all know. let me just go to the roster real quick here. They have Boncaro as their power forward. They have Cole Anthony, who I still think could be really, really good. He's not as crazy as he was doing at the beginning of his career, but he's still a really good player that I see a lot of potential for. They got Bol, which I like Bol, so I just wanted to shout him out. They have Wendell Carter Jr., who also played really well. Markel Fultz, who looks like he's been trying to make a bounce back. Gary Harris, who he could be really good, on the team. I like Gary Harris. They got Jonathan Isaac. I don't really know much anymore what to say about this guy. I know he's been getting injured a lot, so he's more of a question mark. Let's see, Jalen Suggs, who hopefully bounces back. Franz Wagner. Love Franz Wagner. It's just, this goes on to the point that I had was future super team. Now, granted, it's very, very early to say that this is a super team, and most of you listening are probably think I'm dumb for trying to say this is a super team, but I just named you players that have really high potential of like being good on this team and helping them out. They, like I said, I had them like get in last. I had them get in last this season, and they completely proved me wrong by getting 34 wins, 48 losses, which, yes, they still missed the play-in, but come on, you think they're just going to stay there next season? There's no way that they don't make the play-in next year. Especially with how teams are looking and everything switching around, I would not be shocked if they make the 9th or 10th seed, or even the 7th or 8th, depending on how well they do next season. But I do know, mark my words, they are going to be in the play-in next season. Are they going to win? I don't know, but they will definitely make it. I have full confidence in these guys that they can make it, especially with who they have to face against to even get the 10th spot. Yeah, there's no way they're not getting that. Let's see here. What else do I have for the Magic? Like I just said, playoff push. I already talked about that. I think this next season, they should consider doing a playoff push. I think it's time to see what these guys can do together and just figure out where we're going from there. Once we see them play in the play-in, do we feel like, yeah, we need more time? Or, oh yeah, it's time to start doing trades. It's time to start figuring out who's going to be on our championship team and who's not going to be on the championship team. Because I'm looking at the rest of these guys, and this is not a championship team. I can tell you that. No way. And then my last point here is just draft or trade picks, which that just goes on the lines of like my playoff push idea. Let's see. For the NBA draft this year, they do have the 6th pick, so I'm sure they'll get a really good player from that, which I doubt they'll trade it. But if they do trade it, I'm sure they can get a really good player back. But that was just my thing. Are we going to trade it? Try to do that playoff push, or are we going to stay where we are? They're most likely just going to keep the pick. It's just me trying to start things, I'm trying to start things, see if people will catch on, be like, oh, that's not a bad idea. Well, then Magic should push, just trying to start stuff to be annoying. But yeah, that's really just all I have for the Magic. I think they're doing great. They have a very bright future ahead of them. They've become one of my favorite teams to watch. They're just great. I'm definitely going to watch more games this upcoming season. Now, next, this team made some shocking news today. So you guys probably know who I'm talking about. The Washington Wizards. Just got to start right off the bat with it. Bradley Beal, for those that don't know, earlier today, as of recording, Bradley Beal was traded to the Phoenix Suns. Now, right here from Adrian Wojcicki, Woj, I don't even know how to say his last name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. From Adrian Woj. He just said how the Suns are finalizing a trade for the Washington Wizards, where the package will include, obviously, the Phoenix Suns will get Bradley Beal, and the Washington Wizards will trade Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, several second-round picks, and pick swaps. That was told today. And other news, it did come out later in news that the Washington Wizards do plan on, I don't know if the right word is like wavered, but they plan on, I don't think it's wavered. they do plan on trading him. That's what it was. They plan on trading Chris Paul to potentially get like more picks and more assets that could help them with this rebuild. The biggest contenders, one of them being the Los Angeles Clippers. Actually, I think that's the only team I've heard about that seems like the best case scenario for the Washington Wizards is the Clippers getting Chris Paul, to do that reunion again, which would be really nice for Chris Paul. He got like maybe 2 years left in him, so it would be really nice if he could, go back to the team that really helped elevate him to like superstar potential. Obviously, you could also consider the Hornets as a team, New Orleans Hornets, but they were called the New Orleans Hornets, so they don't really exist anymore unless he wants to go. I don't know how that works in the NBA. I don't know if they would consider Chris Paul with the Pelicans since that was New Orleans, or if Charlotte is still considered. I don't know what the rules are, but as we know, Chris Paul was really got known for on the Clippers, as Clippers and the Hornets. That's where he was known. So it would be really nice if he could end his career there. But other than that, like, let's just do a quick grade on this trade. I'll probably do this a lot more during the free agency and other trades that happen during the offseason. I'm giving the Phoenix Suns an A because I think Bradley Beal will be a really good piece for them. I'm not going to say like it's an A+ because you still have questions when it comes to the bench, what they're going to do with that. I don't think he's like oh my God, like this is it, they're getting a championship, but I do think this is a good step in the right direction. As for the Washington Wizards, they get a D. You know what? Scratch that. They get a D-. This was a horrible trade for the Washington Wizards. Horrible. I know I just talked about with Chris Paul and how they're going to try to trade him, but that doesn't benefit the Washington Wizards. Maybe they'll get well, actually, I guess it does because they will get like picks and players back. But as for this trade specifically, it was horrible. All you got back was Chris Paul, who's aging, and then a bench player, which I'm sure you'll probably trade him. He's not going to be their future. And you didn't even get one first round pick. You got several second round picks in a pick swap. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Bradley Beal, yeah, he might not be like top 10 player in the league right now, but he is worth at least maybe 2 first rounds. At most 3, or at least just 1. Like, you couldn't get 1 first round. Then again, I think what also led to that, for those that do not know, Bradley Beal on his contract has a no trade clause. And because of that, that means that if the Wizards want to trade Bradley Beal, Beal also has to accept the trade. He can deny any trade that the Wizards try to do. We don't see this a lot. At least I don't know how many players have this in the NBA, but this might be the last time they ever had it. Because just look at what they did, or what he did, excuse me. He just, they got nothing back in return because they couldn't find anything for Beal. As we all know, it was either going to be the Miami Heat or the Phoenix Suns because those were the 2 teams that Beal was interested in and the team was interested in. And just to trade him, do all of that headache just to get this back is bad. It's just really bad, man. Obviously, congrats to the Phoenix Suns. You got your big 3 finally with D-Book, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. Of course, Ayton was supposed to be that guy, but who knows what his future holds with the Suns after that playoff performance. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. I don't know, like I said, about Chris Paul, if the Clippers are going to get him or not. They haven't said anything yet about a trade happening, but the Wizards are definitely putting it into consideration and looking at, shopping around to see if anyone wants him. If he does get traded, let's say it's not the Clippers, I do expect it to be a title contending team for Chris Paul. He'll probably come off the bench. I'm sure, like, Chris Paul, where he is in his career, he's more of like a good bench player. Like, he'll be great with the young guys or whoever's like with him. And yeah, that's just all I want to say for that. Moving on from that, let's see what else we have for the Wizards. The other thing I put here was like, just get out from being a laughingstock. It's just disappointing with how the Wizards have been in the last couple years. It's just bad, man. They just need to do something. I don't think this was a good step in the right direction. And when I meant do something, I meant do something good. Not do a horrible trade like this that still doesn't like show anything good. Like, obviously, Wizards fans, from what I heard, have been wanting Beal traded because they want to rebuild. So, I guess this is a good because they're doing what the fans want, which is a rebuild. It's just all you got was you got several second round picks is what I meant to say. That's just disappointing. And then that leads to the draft. Let's see, what do they got? They have the 8th pick in the NBA draft, so we'll see who they draft. They can literally get anybody on the team. Like, now they don't really have a star on their team, so I don't really know who they want. They just like I said, they just need to do something. And yeah, that's really just what it is, Wizards. Just do something, please. Figure out what you want this team to be, who you want. I know they have this one guy in the team that I do see at least some potential in. Let's see, where is he? Where are the Wizards? Wizards. Ah, here they are. That's not what I wanted to look at. Okay. I'll just go here on my phone. Like I said, guys, trying to be professional, but I'm also not at the same time. And hold on, guys, give me a second here. Hold on, guys, give me a quick second. I will be right back. Okay, apologies about that, guys. I had my little sister walk in the room, asking me questions. Probably heard me. Trying to tell her to skedaddle real quick. She's over here getting in the way of my recording. But anyways, sorry about that. What was I talking about? Oh, yes. The Wizards. So his name is Denny Abad? I don't know. Why do all these players gotta have the weirdest names to pronounce? But his name is Denny, I know that. He seems like to have a lot of good potential. There was Johnny Davis, which you guys probably remember him from like the Taco Bell commercial. He was getting like a lot of hype coming into the draft. And like this season, man, he has not lived up to that hype then again, he is on the Washington Wizards, so he probably didn't get like the most amount of time played. Like, but even on here, like, he must have gotten injured or something because he only played like 28 games and he started 5 of them. He would average 15 minutes. Like this is just bad. I don't know what the future holds for him. So much for him being a star, I guess. Like he has just not been looking good. Let's see, do they have anybody else here that like I would consider even worse? Oh, Kyle Kuzma. I totally forgot Kyle Kuzma is on this team. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Kyle. Kyle, on the other hand, he really proved people wrong. One of the things he always told people when he was on the Lakers is, hey, if you give me a team to lead, I will, like, do good. And that's what he did. He averaged 21 points this season, so he definitely showed that he can hoop, which is great to see. If anything, they might as well just try to build around maybe Kyle Kuzma if they think he's going to be the guy for them. I don't really know, but as we know, Bradley Beal isn't on the team anymore, so I don't really know what the future holds for them. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Kuzma gets traded as well. So, yeah, just do something, Wizards, please. Just please do something. Let's see. Next, we have the Indiana Pacers. Now, Indiana Pacers, I really just have 3 things here for them. Number 1 being just continue your rebuild. Obviously, you guys aren't there yet where I would say, yeah, you guys are ready to become playoff contenders. So just continue the rebuild. I put on here, like in Tyrese we trust. Just keep building around Tyrese Halliburton. We all know he's a good player. We all know he's one of the best point guards right now. Young point guards. So just figure out players that will work well with him and figure out what you're doing with what's the guy's name? Miles Turner? Is that his name? I think it's Miles Turner. Figure out what you're doing with him, bro. I feel like every single season they talk about how they want to put him in trade talks, and then he never leaves the team. So I don't know what they're doing with him. And then just figure out what you're going to do in the draft. They have the 7th pick in the draft. I'm sure you can get a great young guy to put around Tyrese. Just continue to rebuild and move on. Next, we have the Toronto Raptors. And as we all know, they not traded away. What am I talking about? They fired Nick Nurse. Another team where I just thought that was stupid. I don't know why they fired him. For whatever reason it was. I guess they thought it was his fault that they did bad. But I think that was really dumb. They shouldn't have fired him. They're really going to regret that. And I don't know what they're going to do now. I guess, I have are they going to rebuild? Oh my God. My little voice cracks here. Are they going to rebuild, or are they going to do a playoff push? And just looking more and more into the team, I'm leaning towards them most likely rebuilding. As we know, Fred VanVleet is going to enter free agency, so a lot of teams, that is the news that came out too when I've been seeing on Instagram and other sources on social media. A lot of teams are interested in Fred, so the Raptors do have competition. I wouldn't be surprised if Fred decides to go to a different team that will help him win another championship, because I feel like a lot of us forget that Fred, even though he is still considered young, he did win it in his first or second year in the league when Kawhi was here. So he has won a chip before, so it's not like he needs to keep running for that chip. That's probably why he might have not been playing the greatest, because he's I already won a championship, so if I retire now, I can at least say I'm a champion. And he played well, and I would consider him a superstar, if not an all-star. So that's what I have to say for that. Let's see. So yeah, like I said, they're most likely going to rebuild. If they want to, maybe. If you're not going to rebuild, definitely see what you can do in free agency. There's going to be a lot of guys there this season that are gonna be good to pick up. They might not all be crazy number one superstars, but there's definitely players that can help you that would be key pieces for the team. But that's really all I got for the Raptors. They have a lot of questions heading into it. I don't know what the future holds for the Raptors. I don't know what kind of coach they're gonna get. I really don't think it was a good idea that they fired Nick. It seems like the Raptors are just falling apart, and I hope the fans are ready, because it might be a while until you see another playoff push, or just playoff run, maybe. Now we go on to the Chicago Bulls. Man, I don't really know what to feel about the Chicago Bulls. They're a team that I thought was going to be this incredible playoff contender for the next couple years, but they were just disappointing. I don't think there's any other way you can really say it besides they were disappointed. It was just I don't know what to say about the team. I just really don't. You have a team that I don't really know what their future is. I don't know what they're trying to do. It's just, if I'm a Bulls fan, shout out to Kenny, aka King of the Fourth Quarter, but I don't know what I'm gonna do as a Bulls fan. You have Zach LaVine on here. You have Lonzo Ball. You have Patrick Beverley. You have Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan. You have, let's see, who else they got? They got Kobe White, Patrick Williams, Nikola Vucevic. Is he on here? I thought he was on here. Oh, there he is. You got that team, but clearly these guys aren't working for you guys winning. So for the ones that are still here, definitely expect them to be traded, some of these guys. And it's just, what are we going to do with LaVine? Are we keeping LaVine? Are we trading him? Are we going to see a rebuild with the Bulls? Do they want to still keep being title contenders? What's going to happen with Lonzo Ball? Because I know, with the injury he had, it just looks bad, man. I don't know what's going to happen with Ball. I wish him the best, but is it over for Lonzo? For being, I guess, a starting point guard for them? I don't really know what's going to go on with this team. They have so many question marks heading into this season, into this off season, that I can't even tell you everything. And then apparently they also have Andre Drummond. I didn't even know they had him. Like, the team is just like, they have DeMar DeRozan, who's been looking incredible for the team, but has honestly been slowing down a little bit. That was really funny. When we saw them facing the Raptors and his daughter was screaming, that was funny. So we know DeMar can still do it, but is he at that level still where he can carry the team? And then, Levine's here too. He's also a great player. It's just, I don't know what the team's going to do. I doubt they're going to do a rebuild. Obviously, I've been saying that. Like, are they going to rebuild? I doubt it. So I guess they'll figure out what they're going to do this free agency. You got DeMar DeRozan on here, and that was a great pickup. So hopefully they can find someone good. Maybe they could get Fred VanVleet. I think Fred is a point guard, so maybe he could be the new point guard. He's worn red with the Raptors. Maybe he can wear red again with the Bulls, So it's like he's back at home. But yeah, that's really it with the Bulls. I don't know what else to say about them. Now we have the Miami Heat. Man, oh man. The Miami Heat. Let's just start right off the bat and say congratulations to the Miami Heat for an incredible playoff run. Yes, you didn't win the championship. Yes, you lost in 5 games. And yes, everyone's making fun of you for it. But there's a couple things heading into this offseason that I will say. One, Jimmy Butler is still him in the playoffs. I have no doubt in my mind that he will still keep being amazing. And I just think you guys should just run it back. Like, run it back, get some couple, role players and stuff that will help you guys, and just try to do this again. Obviously, your coach is amazing. You guys were in the play-in. You lost against the Hawks, which made you go into the second round of the play-in, and then you faced the Bucks. You beat the Bucks. You beat my team, the New York Knicks, which I'm still upset about. You beat the Celtics, and you were only 3 games away from being NBA champions. Like, I don't know how much more I need to explain how crazy that is. I just dropped my phone. Give me a second here, guys. Oh, there it is. All right, but like I was saying, you guys are just like it. Even though you guys didn't win the chip, I see this as a successful, very, very successful season. There were a lot of people, including me, that did not even think you were going to get past the first round, or some didn't even think you were going to get past the play-in. It's crazy to see that they were able to prove a lot of people wrong. A lot of their role players showed that they can be good if they are given the opportunity. It was just great. Now, as for the other stuff here, just try to get Jimmy more help. He clearly needs another top talented shooter on the team that will help them. Bam is obviously not that guy. Maybe Tyler Hero could be that guy, because he was gone for most of the playoffs. So maybe if he was there in the beginning, maybe if he, was able to get used to everything, he could have helped in the finals, because he did come back in the finals, yes. But that was like game 5, if I'm not mistaken. And he just got back after being injured for like 2 months. So he was rusty. Like, you couldn't really expect much from him. If that's what you Heat fans were hoping for, it's like Tyler Hero was not going to be your hero, unfortunately. And just, last point here, as I already said, just try to keep most of the team together. They clearly have a great chemistry with each other. That is something I feel like a lot of NBA organizations and teams just forget about. Team chemistry can bring you a very long way. When you have a team that wants to win so badly, that they are determined to win, that they have all of this energy and determination to win, it's crazy. Like, passion can go a long way in life. And these guys showed it. Like, it's so crazy what they were doing. But yeah, that's the Heat. Now we got the Atlanta Hawks. I don't really know what to make of the Hawks. Yeah, I guess, just one of the points I have here is find a good center. I think that's one of the things they really need is a center. If they can get a center, I think this team could at least be like a 7th or 8th seed, maybe a top 6 team. But we'll see what happens with that. Please try to get better defensive players. Looking at this team, they were awful defensively and just didn't have players that I would trust defensively, especially in the Celtics series, which granted, the Celtics might not be the best example because they forced them to go to 6 games, which I still don't understand. How do you let the Hawks force 6 games? It's absolutely outrageous, and I would be livid as a Celtics fan. Yes, they won, but to see that team get 2 wins off of you is crazy. So, yeah, y'all need a center and defense. Next, get to the gym, Trey and DeJounte. Y'all need to get some muscles on you, figure out something, work on your shooting, do whatever. I don't know, just try to be better the next season, because you guys have been good, but you need to be better. Trae Young obviously was doing well, but Murray is more on this side of what I'm talking about. You need to get better, bro. I don't know what happened in this playoffs, but you need to get better. I don't want to see that again, because you're someone that I was telling people where if he had the right team on him, he can show people what he's made of, and he finally got that opportunity, and he fumbled the bag. So you need to get better, bro. I think this was his first playoff, so we got to take it with a grain of salt. We got to give him at least a little bit of like, hey, don't go too hard on him, but still, get better, bro. And as I already said, when it came to the center thing, you better start shopping this free agency. You guys need to find some good bench players, a good center, or maybe some other good guys that could be a part of your starting team. Just figure out something. I don't know what it is you need to figure out, but just do it. Next, we have the Brooklyn Nets. I don't really have much to say about the Brooklyn Nets. As we know, this regular season, they lost KD, they lost Kyrie, and they just are kind of lost right now. As a Knicks fan, it's amazing to see. I love making fun of the Nets. It's glorious to see. Like I said, I have an aunt that's a Nets fan. I'll always make fun of her team. And at this point, for the Nets and their future, just go with the flow. That's all I wrote down for them. It's just go with the flow. Figure out what you're gonna do. I think you should keep Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and some of the other guys, and just see what they can do. If we saw them be the 6th seed this season, granted it was also because of KD and Kyrie helping them, but Mikal could definitely be that guy on your team. He could definitely be a potential him in the Brooklyn Nets. So just go with the flow. Yeah, that's all I really got for them. Now, next is the New York Knicks. Now, I have a lot of things to say about the Knicks here. So let's see. First off, free agency. This is the year. See if you can land a star. The Knicks are a superstar away from being a title contenders. Find that superstar. Maybe they want to wait until Donovan's contract is up, but I'm not waiting. Find a star ASAP that will be right beside Jalen Brunson, and they can lead the team. Whether it's we have RJ Barrett just had this crazy jump next season, trading Julius Randle for a star, figure it out. Sign a superstar, sign some more good role players, bench players, whatever you want to call them. Jalen Brunson, obviously, I wrote down in Jalen we trust. Jalen Brunson, he said he wasn't our savior and proceeded to be the savior of this team. I talked about it in the last episode, and I'm saying it again. He is amazing. I love Jalen Brunson. He's become my one of, if not one of my all-time favorite Knicks players. I love him. I know he's probably going to stay on the team, hopefully for the rest of his career, if everything goes smooth. He's just great. Next point here is what I already talked about. Are we going to keep Julius Randle, or are we going to trade him? This is the second time in 3 years. Granted, we've only been to the playoffs 2 times in the last 3 years, where Julius Randle completely fumbled the bag when it came to the playoffs. Now, this year, it was a little more different. he was really, really great defensively. He was good defensively, but when it came to offense, he just wasn't doing good. Now, we did hear that he had surgery, so that probably was more on the lines of why he wasn't playing well, but it happened again. This is the second time where he's played bad in the playoffs. And does the team feel like that we can wait another year? Like, how many more times are we going to give Julius Randle before we say, yeah, this is it, bro. We don't want you on the team no more. As a Knicks fan, it's very frustrating seeing a player where every time he's on the court, it's either like Julius Randle. There's a podcast I watch for those of you that don't know. It's called Knicks Fan TV, and the host CP, the franchise, he I think said it best when it's like Randle is one of those players where it depends on what side of the bed he wakes up on. He's either going to be the best player on the team, or he's going to be moping around, getting upset at all the calls he gets. So it's just I don't know if Julius Randle, like, there's days that I like him as a player, and then there's days I don't. If we keep him, it won't be the biggest deal in the world. I'm sure he'll do better again in the next season. He always does good in the regular season. It's just I need you to also do good in the playoffs. That's where I need you to shine. I'm not here to watch you play 82 games and play amazing in the regular season just for you to be horrible in the playoffs. Like, there's no regular season NBA finals. No, it's the NBA playoff finals. You don't get a championship in the regular season. Well, now technically you will, because Adam Silver is going to have that mid-season tournament, but nobody cares about that. I don't even know if it's going to be a championship trophy or whatever. But all I'm saying is, yes, it would be a big space to fill with Randle out. Just let me actually show you guys right now what I'm talking about when it comes to the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls. Sorry, I just looked at the screen. I meant New York Knicks. Sorry, I just saw them on my screen. I meant to say New York Knicks. Let me tell you about the New York Knicks and when it comes to Julius Randle for what he does. This season that just happened, he averaged 25 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and was 46% in field goals. Obviously, that would be big shoes to fill if we trade somebody. And it's just I just feel like it might be worth it. If we can get a good player back, I think it'll be worth it. But I don't want them to trade for picks or something like that. No, we're done with the drafts. We're done with the Knicks always being in the lottery. We're done with the Knicks just being a lottery team. We are now playoff contenders. We are a playoff team, and we need to keep going down that path. I don't want to see the Knicks anymore get in the draft. Yes, there's going to be good players that I wish we would get, but I don't want them. We'll get them later on, maybe. When they're like amazing top star players, but I don't want. Jeez, oh my goodness, hiccup and whatever that was. But I don't want them on the. I don't want any more rookies on the team. We already have so many good rookies on our team that it's already hard to give them minutes. Like, we have Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Miles McBride, Emmanuel Quickley. Mitchell Robinson is really considered a young guy anymore, and he's good on his minutes. We got Jericho Sims, which I wish Jericho Sims got more minutes, man. I tell my friends all the time, I saw this guy playing in the Summer League in his first year, and then I've been watching him obviously ever since because I'm a Knicks fan. And man, when Jericho Sims is on the court, bro, he is so good. My ceiling for Jericho Sims is all-star potential. He could be an all-star if given the right opportunity. That's obviously not going to happen because we have Mitchell Robinson on the team, but maybe we might try to trade Isaiah Hartenstein, who I hate. I don't like him on the team. I hope they trade him. They give Jericho that spot. And then, we also have Obi Toppin, which I don't know what the future holds for Obi Toppin, if we're going to keep him or not. I really hope we keep Obi Toppin. When I started watching basketball again, it was the 2020 NBA draft. So I saw Emmanuel Quickley and Obi Toppin get drafted. So they have a really soft spot in my heart because it's like I'm watching them literally, grow as players, watching their careers. So it's going to be really sad. Obviously, Quickley most likely will stay, but Obi Toppin's future is a big question mark. I hope they keep him. If we do have to trade him, then it is what it is. It's just, yeah. Let's see, what else we got here? just back to, are we going to do any crazy trades, or are we just going to sign players in free agency? That's all I got there. I already talked about that. Here we go. Next stop, the conference finals. Now, we made it to the second round. That was great. That was the first time, I think they said, in 8 years that we made the second round. So all that's left to go is up. So now our next goal should be the conference finals. And just like that goes into, again, with the whole free agency, trade players for better players. That's just the next step, guys. That's what we got to do. Next step is the conference finals, and then we'll make our way over there. Like I told you guys, I'm one of the biggest Knicks fans out there. Maybe not, but I am a very big Knicks fan, and I really want to see this team be successful. Again, is Obi in or is Obi out? What are we going to see from Obi? The last thing I have on here is Tibbs done? Is Tibbs done with the Knicks? Are we going to see him get fired, or is he going to run it back with the team? Now, I know I did see something about, right here it is. Stephen A. Smith said to get that one coach from the Clippers, and I don't ever want to hear Stephen A. Smith give a suggestion about getting a coach for the Knicks ever again. Stephen A. Smith, I love him talking. I love hearing his commentary and his thoughts. But when it comes to Knicks stuff, it's horrible hearing what he has to say. He says the dumbest things that I don't understand why you would say that. I'm sure he just says it because of TV and ratings. But my God, it's like, why would we want a coach that's also bad? That coach from the Clippers is terrible. I don't want him. Or he used to be on the Clippers. I don't want that guy. You guys probably know who I'm talking about. I don't want him. I'd rather keep Tibbs. But yeah, that's all I got for the Knicks. Next up, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Donovan Mitchell, we trust. Donovan Mitchell, incredible. He played amazing this season. He had that 71, whatever it was, point game. That was awesome to watch. It was great to see him. I think I'm sure Cavs fans are very excited with him being on the team. I wish I could say I was excited, but it was so funny beating them. I'm sure Donovan Mitchell's now just wishing he was here in New York. But yeah, they got Donovan Mitchell. I'm sure they're going to keep trying to build around him. The other top guys they have of Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, and what is that? Isaac Okoro, whoever's that other position. But that was the next thing, is try to keep most of the team together. Obviously, you should try to get better players that will help you improve even more from the previous year, because it was a big shock to people when the Knicks did defeat the Cavs. Obviously not for me, because I wanted them to win, but a lot of people did have the Cavs as like that dark horse team to win the NBA Finals. So it was very surprising the way they played in the playoffs. Like, they played horrible. You would not have thought that team was the 4th seed. So that's my last point, is just get better on defense. Figure out what went wrong against the Knicks and why they were so good, against them defensively. Like, why were we so bad defensively? Why did we let them win? Not in like 6 games. We let them win in 5 games. You guys only had 1 win. So like, it's clearly you guys weren't doing good defensively. So you guys got to figure out what's going on. Next here, we have the 76ers. I talked about it in the last episode. I'll say it again. Trust the process thing is over. Get over it. It's done. No more. You have a fraud MVP. There, I said it. Your MVP is a fraud. He can't get you out of the second round. Why are we still trusting Joel Embiid to lead a team when he's injured every single playoffs? There is not one playoffs where he's not injured, bro. There is always a series where he gets injured and it costs the team a lot. You guys were up 2 games. No, I think it was 1 game, actually. You guys were up. You only needed 1 win, basically, to move on to the conference finals, and you blew it against the Celtics. The Celtics shouldn't even have been in the conference finals with the way you guys were playing. It was horrible. Then again, you guys had James Harden on the team. I don't know why people thought James Harden was going to be this great, sensational player when time and time again, in the playoffs, he proves he's not that guy. In the regular season, yes, he's proved he's that guy. But in the the playoff season, he's not that guy. So are we going to see Harden leave? Because there have been rumors recently that he's interested in going back to the Rockets. And it's been getting like more and more of the news. Because at first it was a rumor. I think it is still a rumor. But I've been hearing a lot more about it. So maybe he'll go back, but who knows? You guys got to figure out something when it comes to free agency. Do some trades. Just figure out something. Please figure out how to get out of the second round. Get Joel help or something, bro. Which I don't even know, man. Like, clearly you guys are just, when it comes to the 76ers, their future is like looking like not completely like a failure or horrible, but it's slowly getting to the we got a problem. Because as I mentioned, it's been 10 years since Trust the Process has started, and in those 10 years, there's not even a conference championship in that timeline. Conference championship, not an NBA championship, a Eastern Conference championship. Not one, not a single one. And I don't know. It's just very disappointing to see. As someone that sees Philadelphia Sixers fans all the time, I've been to the arena, which I've been to the arena multiple times before, not just basketball, but I go there a lot for like wrestling shows, like WWE. I always go with my dad, and I love the arena. I think it's a really, really nice arena. I love the seats and stuff, and just the view of the game and everything. I finally went to a game. I mentioned it before in the last podcast. I finally went to a game this season because I've always been wanting to go to a game, and it was nice. It was really fun. The fans there are obviously very passionate. I always love seeing passionate fans, and the Sixers are definitely one of those guys. We all know, especially when it comes to football, how passionate they can be, and it's just great. It was fun. It was a fun time around those fans. Obviously, I was sad because we lost, but it was just fun seeing the fans and how excited they get and just how into the game they are. Like, man, if you guys have never been to an NBA game, if you ever get the money for it, because it is expensive, I had to save up for that. We got a pretty good deal. I think we only paid like each. I think we only paid like $200. And for NBA tickets, and they were good seats. Like we were like the third row, maybe, where we were sitting. We got a really good view of where we were. Like, can't really explain where it was exactly unless I have a picture of it. But it was good seats for the money it was worth. And it's expensive. So I know a lot of people, for them, like a lot of people, it's like, oh, I only go once because there's no way I can go again. I really want to go back again next season. My goal now is to try to go to at least one game every single season. Hopefully they have more games in Philadelphia that I'll try to go to. I might try to go to some in Washington, D.C. as well, because I recently learned that I can drive that far. So, I might try to do that. That'll be fun to watch the Wizards and just see the Knicks destroy them, hopefully. But yeah, anyway, back to the Sixers. Yeah, that actually not back to the Sixers. That's all I got for you guys. Just figure out something, bro. Next, we got the Celtics. Are you guys going to keep the dynamic duo together? Is Jaylen Brown staying, or are we saying no Jaylen? Obviously, he didn't have the best performance in the conference finals, so a lot of people are like, I don't want him no more. But I have heard more people on the lines of saying they would like him back, saying that he's a really good player, and it would be a huge mistake if the Celtics don't keep him. And I agree on that. I think they should keep them together. Yes, he had that bad playoff performance, but come on now. Nah, let's not sleep on Jaylen like that. I think they can do it. Just give him some other players to work around. And this actually goes to the next point. Is Jason Tatum really him? We try to say he's him all the time. I hear people all the time trying to say Jason Tatum is literally him or he's becoming him. And I don't know. These last couple times in the playoffs, he has not been there for his team to help him out. So, I don't know about that. Get better role players. either get a better coach or just hope that Joe Mazzulla? I think it's Joe Mazzulla is his name. Hope that he becomes better as a coach, but I don't really know how I feel about him as a coach because he was blaming like the players as to why they did bad. He was like, "Oh, it was their fault. I made the best game plan, all that." And it's like, yes, I get it. A lot of times it is on the players, but as the coach, you're supposed to be the leader. So you're supposed to always be like, "Yeah, I did something wrong," or "Oh, it's my fault," or it's like, "I'll just do better next time coaching and teaching them what to do." But it's like he didn't put any blame on himself. He was like, "Nah, it was their fault as to why we lost," and that's an L coach in my opinion. So I think you guys should just get a new coach, figure out what to do, and last but not least, just don't get embarrassed again. Please do not get embarrassed in the playoffs again. I have a friend that is very big on the Celtics, and I just feel bad for him all the time when he is just depressed after the Celtics decided to just completely wet the bed in the playoffs. But yeah. Now, the last team in the Eastern Conference that I will talk about is the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, first point is the season was not a failure. Second point is try to get a couple trades in. There's not really much to say about the Bucks because they're a pretty good team overall. It was just, this playoff it just wasn't their year. So just get a couple picks, keep the rest of the team together. And the last point I have here is just a reminder that father time is near. A lot of the players you have are getting older, so a lot of them are going to start to regress in performance. So obviously Giannis is still incredible. It's going to be a while until he slows down, but a lot of your other guys, like key players you have, they are starting to slow down and become bad. So just remember that father time is near. And sooner or later, you're going to have to trade more players in order to stay as title contenders. Now, it's time for the Western Conference. We're in an hour already into this, and now we're just getting to the West. So we're going to have to speed this up a bit. Because with the app I'm using, or software, I can only record up to 2 hours, so we got to hurry this up a bit. So let's get this a little bit quick. All right. So Spurs. Celebrate because you are going to get Victor Wembanyama. You finally have another player in your organization. This is like the third time you've gotten a franchise player, so it's time to celebrate. Celebrate that Victor Wembanyama is here. The future looks bright. Continue the rebuild, and once again, as a reminder, Victor Wembanyama. That's all I got to say. Rockets, get someone good in the draft, continue your rebuild, and are we going to see that James Harden reunion that I was talking about earlier? It would be nice, see him play with like Jalen Green and Jabari Smith. Is that his name? Jabari Smith Jr. It'd be a nice little reunion to go back to. The team that literally made James Harden who he is. Yeah, that's all I really got to say for that. Next up, we have the Trailblazers. As we heard from rumors, or news, not rumors, news that the Trailblazers do want to trade Damian Lillard. Where's Damian Lillard going to go? What are they going to get back? And will we see him next season? Or is this offseason for sure going to be the time when Dame finally goes onto a team where he can hopefully win a chip? Try to get Scoot. Obviously, you are going to be the third pick in the NBA draft, so just hope that the Hornets do pick Brandon Miller, so then you can get Scoot, and then you don't have to worry about it when you trade Dame. You have a point guard now. Definitely a point guard I see as the next franchise guy. So, yeah, really all for that. Just continue the rebuild and work on trades. Next up, Jazz, continue the rebuild, and Lauri Markkanen is the man. I like Lauri. I think he's going to be good for the team. Keep him, please. And yeah, that's all it really is. Mavericks, please get Luka help. Please get Luka help. I cannot stress this enough. Luka is one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player right now, currently in the NBA. And it breaks my heart that he doesn't get any help. I've telling people before, and I'll say it right here. The new people in ESPN and all them news stations, they've been talking about it now, but just know I was talking about it first. Luka, I think, is going to go down the same path as LeBron, where he ends up with a team where he's with them for a couple years and then he finally leaves because they didn't give him the players he needs to be successful in the NBA. It's going to happen. this following offseason if they don't do something for the team. I think Luka's going to demand a trade if they don't start looking like a team that could win a chip. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Kyrie Irving, is Kyrie Irving staying? We have heard from reports that Kyrie does plan on staying, but as we know, his promises are really just nothing. I'll believe it when I see him on the court at the start of the season. Let's see, do I have anything else? Oh, get a good center. Please find a center that will help the team. Now, moving on. The Pelicans. 2 things I have for them. 1, Zion Williamson. What is the man gonna do? The man that, as we all know, is in a little bit of controversy right now. He got this girl going crazy, averaging 30 tweets per game, or per day, on Twitter. She might enter the Hall of Fame of Twitter. Who knows? And this actually goes on to the thing I was talking about earlier when it comes to the Charlotte Hornets. I think so. Here's my idea for those that are wondering, or for those that are listening. I don't know why I'm saying wondering. For those that are listening, here's my idea for the Charlotte Hornets and New Orleans Pelicans trade. You get LaMelo Ball to the Pelicans, and you get Zion Williamson to the Hornets. What you can then do is get Scoot and have Scoot and Zion become this dynamic duo, or you could have Brandon Miller and Zion become this dynamic duo. And then in return, the Pelicans will get LaMelo Ball, who will be a great point guard for them. I don't think they have like an all-star point guard on their team. Let me look right now. Let's check the roster out for the Pelicans. Yeah, their point guard is, I think, Jose Alvarado, the Grand Theft Alvarado. You know, he's good, but LaMelo Ball is just better. Let's be honest. Jose is just good for his steals. He's incredible steal-wise. But come on, you could easily have Jose as like the bench player. There's no way they see him as like their starter for his whole career. You could easily put LaMelo Ball and Brandon Ingram together, and the other guys that you have on this team. Jose Valanciunas, that could be great for LaMelo. This could be a fun team with LaMelo Ball in it. So that's my trade idea. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think LaMelo should go to the Pelicans and Zion goes to the Hornets. Now, the next thing is just continue your playoff push. You guys, obviously, did they make it this? I don't think they made it this year. No, I think you guys missed it from the play-in, but just continue that playoff push. You guys are doing great as an organization. Bright future ahead of you. Brandon Ingram's been doing great. Zion, like I said, I don't know. CJ McCollum's great to have him as a veteran. And yeah, blah, blah, blah. You guys know. Pelicans, all that stuff. Moving on. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Future super team. That's all I gotta say. Future super team. You guys are looking incredible. We've all known this. We were making fun of them for having so many picks. But man, they are looking great as a team. I can't wait to see Chet Holmgren. How do you say his name? Chet Holmgren? I think that's how you say it. So Chet. I can't wait to see him play. I was really sad that we didn't see him play last year due to injuries, but that's going to be nice to see him, Shea, Jalen Williams. Who else is on here that I really like? Trey Man. I like Trey Man. I really like Dort. I love Josh Giddey. He's so good. Who's that other guy? Was it Isaiah Joe? I think it was Isaiah Joe that I was also liking on the team. But I think they have a future super team in the next couple of years. If they keep the team together, I think we could see a really good playoff contending team. Again, it's very early to say, but I think they'll be good. Figure out what you're going to do with the draft. I think they have some pretty high picks. I think they actually have 2 lottery picks. Let's see. They have the 12th pick. Oh, I guess just the 12th pick. Really? I thought they had another pick. Oh, I guess. Well, they have the 12th pick, so they could do something with that. I thought they had another pick. Oh, wow. I guess they don't have another top pick. But there's that. You have a nice pick you can get. Free agency. Maybe try to see if you can sign some more veterans, or maybe see if a superstar wants to go to that team. I mean, you guys got a bright future, so maybe there's got to be at least one superstar that would put you guys into consideration. Oh, and just last thing, in Shea we trust. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has been amazing. I love SGA. Great player, and he deserves all the flowers that he gets. I'm excited for the future of the Thunder. That's all I gotta say. Let's see. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards, great player. Keep building around Anthony Edwards. He's gonna be a great player for you guys. Yeah, he was looking phenomenal in this playoff. Yes, they lost in like 5 games or whatever it was, but Anthony Edwards is going to be that guy in the next couple years. I would not be surprised if we are here saying that he's a top 10 player in the league. He's amazing. He has one of the brightest futures out of the young talents that we have. Incredible. Please sign just good role players or whatever. Just figure out what to do with the team. Clearly, you guys are going to keep pushing for the playoffs. So find guys that will work well with Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and maybe Rudy Gobert. But I already told you guys how I feel about Rudy. I think he's awful. Next, we have the Los Angeles Lakers. First point I have on here, just a meme. Pray that LeBron doesn't retire. Please pray that he doesn't. And if he does, is this the last dance? Are we gonna see that? Are we gonna see some crazy run happen? What else do I have on here? Oh, just try to bring back Austin Reeves. I would say keep D'Angelo Russell, because I know a lot of people are trying to trade him now. I don't think you should trade him. Please don't trade him. I don't think that's a thing that will happen. At least I hope not. But I think he's good for the team. And yeah, that's really all I have for them. Warriors, I simply just have how we can officially say that this is an end of an era. This is no longer the Warriors dynasty that we all grew up watching. And last, I just have cry. I'm just going to be honest, with the new CBA that's happening, the Warriors are not looking good. They are definitely going to have some players, unfortunately, step away from the team because they're not going to be able to pay for them. So, as a Warriors fan, I would just be crying. It's going to be a while until you guys get a championship again. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that championship last year. Next is the Clippers. I just put it on here as one of the points. This team still exists. Like, I don't even know what y'all are doing anymore. Is there still a dynamic duo in the Clippers? Like, you guys have Paul George and Kawhi. Like, I really went into it last episode. If you guys want to check it out, it's just another thing. It's just I don't really care about the organization. I don't really care what they do. You guys, like, hey, with this news, maybe we could see Chris Paul coming back. We could have Paul, Kawhi, George all together, try to get a chip. Just figure out something. Like, figure out how to keep Kawhi healthy. Paul wasn't really much of a big problem when it came to injuries. It was just unfortunate that it happened at that time. Just figure out how to keep Kawhi healthy. Please. I would love to see the team win a chip, but I can't take you guys seriously if you don't take yourself seriously. So, yeah. Next is the Phoenix Suns. D-Book. I love D-Book, and D-Book we trust. He played great in this playoffs. I'm not going to say he's like, top 10, top 5 player of all time, but he did play well. So it's good to know that he can play really good in the playoffs now, and he's someone you can rely on. Please get some good role players. Like, your guys' bench was awful. And especially with this trade, there's just another, like, granted, the guy that you traded for, including Chris Paul, isn't like this amazing player of all time, but it's like, just why, it's just like, why do you guys not have good role players? We know from other teams, especially this playoff run, that you need good role players. You can't just rely on the superstars. Sooner or later, the superstars are going to tire out because you can't just keep playing them 40 minutes a game. You need guys that will be able to help the superstars. That's why there's things called good role players or good bench players. So please figure that out. And last thing I have on here, welcome Bradley Beal. Welcome to the Phoenix Suns. I'm sure you're going to do great with the team. You've always been a good player. You've been one of my favorite guys as well. You're just great. You're a good player, and I'm happy you'll finally be on a team where you can really show how good you are. I definitely expect a type of like DeMar DeRozan type season where he's going to really show how good he can be, especially now that he's on a title contending team. Let's see. Next, we have the Sacramento Kings. In Sabonis and Fox, we trust. I love them as a dynamic duo. We also have, I think, Malik Monk on the team. I think Malik Monk is on the team. Let me make sure here. Let me just check for you guys. Great season for the Kings. I'm so happy they got that playoff drought out of here, and it was great to see the performance they did. Yes, they didn't make it past the first round, but oh my goodness, they were just great. Let's see. Yeah, they got Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, who's looking great as a rookie, Davion Mitchell, Terrence Davis, Harrison Barnes. They got Rashawn Holmes, Kevin Huerter. That was a great pickup, by the way, for the Kings. Kevin Huerter. I love Kevin Huerter. He's really good. Domantas Sabonis, which at the time I did not think that was a good trade. I was like so upset when they traded Tyrese, but little did I know this was going to be a great pickup for them. Just keep doing what you guys are doing. Whatever worked last season, do that again, but better. That's all I gotta say. Now, second to last, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. I put on here, in Ja, we don't trust. Now, let's get into this topic now. As we all know, Ja Morant got in trouble again for posting a gun on, I believe it was an Instagram live. And was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago. The ESPN from the article I'm looking at right now is from Tim McMahon, whatever. It was some guy named Tim from the ESPN staff writer. It came out that Ja Morant was suspended for 25 games in the NBA. Now, obviously, things have come out where it's like technically he didn't break any rules, he didn't break the laws for the state he was in. I heard that apparently it was a toy gun, all this other stuff, but I'll simply say this about how I feel about the situation. He is an NBA player, and as an NBA player, you shouldn't try to have this kind of persona where it's like, oh, guns, all that, and try to think you're so tough with guns. Because one, you definitely have an audience that looks up to you as a role model. Mainly I'm just talking about the kids. And for them to see their favorite player doing stuff like that, they'll probably think, oh, that's cool to do, let me do it as well. And I don't tolerate that. So if it was up to me, if I was in Adam Silver's shoes, Ja Morant would have been at least gotten let's see, there's 82 games in a season. So we're looking at 41, at least a 41 game suspension. Half of the season he should have been gone. This was just, in my opinion, laughable that he only got 25 games. I don't understand how it was only 25. Of course, people have said how he does have one of the longest suspensions, which is kind of crazy to me because I saw the other suspensions. There was one guy who had like 2 years suspended. I don't even remember what the number was. It was like some crazy number, but it's definitely going to be a huge loss for the Grizzlies. I'm sure the team is very upset at him, and it's like, I know he's coming out with these apologies, but this is the third apology he's wrote, and it's like none of them seem meaningful. And I literally would not be shocked if we see it again of him doing something like this. He was a guy that he's just ruining him, and Zion are just trying to ruin their career. They're trying to see who ruins it first, and it's so disappointing with Ja and seeing what he's become. Because he was becoming one of my favorite players. I saw him, like, he still has a bright future if he can get things together, but it's just disappointing to see what he's doing. Again, just pray your future still looks bright. I don't really know, and just sign some good players. That's all I got. Sign some more players that will help you guys go on to that next step. Because you guys were the second seed. I'm not gonna expect anything less from you guys this upcoming season, especially with the West. The West is definitely gonna have a lot of big changes coming up with who's at the top and who isn't. So I'm excited to see that, where everything goes. And yeah. Now, the last team to talk about, the Denver Nuggets. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets for, winning that chip. Let's all get a round of applause real quick. Congrats to Nikola. He won that chip. He proved everybody wrong. And he won that finals MVP. And I just saw a news that he was watching that horse race that he's been dying to watch ever since the playoffs ended. And just great. Like, they are what the Clippers are trying to be when it comes to, if our team is healthy, watch out. And they just did great, run it back and just figure out what to do. And in Nikola, we trust. It's a great team overall. I love Jamal Murray. I love Michael Porter Jr. What's the guy's? Bruce Brown, I believe is his name. I like Bruce Brown. Let me check here. See the whole roster and who they got. Christian Braun is interesting. It's because I did hear how, like, even in college he won like 2 championships. He won in high school as well, a championship, and now he's won an NBA championship. Like, this guy is crazy, like, with the amount of luck he's gotten. I don't know if he was like the star player for college and high school, but obviously he wasn't that guy in the playoff team. But man, like Thomas Bryant, it was also really funny that how Thomas Bryant got traded. He'll always be remembered as that guy that asked LeBron to pass the ball on LeBron's like all-time scoring shot. That was so funny. Aaron Gordon, I'm so happy for Aaron Gordon to know that he was on the Magic, and I thought he was just going to be nothing for the rest of his career. To win in a championship was really cool. It's just great. And then, congrats to like Ish Smith, congrats to DeAndre Jordan, and who was the other guy? Jeff Green. Congrats to them for winning a chip. They've had a tough road heading in their playoff career, man. Tough road that they had. So yeah, that's all I really got to say for them. Let's see. Anything else I need to talk about here? Oh, I did post this on my Instagram account, so make sure to follow that. What's Next on Basketball on Instagram. Make sure to check that out. Lou Williams. This morning, I woke up to seeing the notification that Lou Williams has retired. The three-time Sixth Man of the Year. He, after 17 years in the NBA, he's hanging up his shoes. And I just want to say, congrats to his retirement. I wish him nothing but the best. He had a, pretty interesting career. Let's see, the teams here he played with the Sixers, the Hawks, the Raptors. Oh yeah, he was on the Lakers. I forgot about that. He was on the Rockets, the Clippers. He had a fun career, man. I don't think he won a chip, which kind of sucks. But, he was a really good sixth man. Like, I don't know if people remember how good he was. Just, shout out to him. Hopefully he has a good career. Is he in potentially Hall of Fame? Like, do they say he might make the Hall of Fame? I know, like, it takes a lot to be in it. No, I guess not. I guess he won't be in the Hall of Fame contention or talks. So, yeah, I guess it is what it is there. Oh, I see here that the Hornets did say they brought back Brandon Miller and Scoot to visit them again. So that's interesting. So, like I said here, I guess they're really still debating on who they think they should get. But yeah, that's really all I got to say. I appreciate you guys for listening to the second episode of the What's Next on Basketball podcast. We're trying to get things here and there. I'm still trying to get everything done. Still trying to get anything worked. I'm still doing the whole YouTube thing as well. I'm trying to do all the edits I can. So it might be like a week or so until I get the first and second episode out. But, we got that. I'm going to close that now. We don't need that. But, yeah. As always, be sure to share, be sure to like. Can you like on Spotify? I think you can like on Spotify, but for those who are listening on YouTube, please like the video, please share it. As I said, it really, really helps a lot with me. I'm really trying to make this a big thing. Hopefully I can maybe earn some money from this or just do something, become famous. I would love to like meet NBA players, do interviews with them and all that stuff. But that's future stuff. So we won't worry too much about that yet. We'll start where we are now. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next episode. Next episode might be around the, maybe more about like the NBA draft. If I'm sure more news is going to come up for the NBA, so I'll definitely like make a. It might not be like an hour and a half long podcast like these have been. So it might be like 30 to 40 minutes. So expect stuff like that. Don't always expect an hour. I'll just keep posting you guys on stuff. But if you really want to keep up with the NBA as well, I definitely do that on my Instagram as well. You know, I keep talking about the Instagram, but I really want you guys to follow so you can keep sharing and keep, staying on board when I post stuff. But I'm Jeremy. This is the What's Next podcast, and I'm signing off. Thank you all for listening.